it's not offense defense. This isn't a fight. This isn't a war. Your listing or buyer's agent that you're working with, and you are on the same team. You want the same things. You want to get to the table. You want to get your clients what they want and move on.
Hello, Nova Real Producers, your publisher, Kristen Brindley, and it's an honor to be here with Meg Czapiewski. And she was in the Air Force, 29 years of service. Thank you for your service. She's the team lead and founder of Honorable Service Realty Group. And when we talked about integrity earlier, I think about that with you. So, it's an honor to have you on to connect, inform, and inspire with us today. And Nova Real Producers, thanks you for sharing your story. You were our cover edition as well. So how did this happen? Like, tell us a little bit about, being in the service and then deciding on real estate 10 years ago. Yeah.
Well, my Air Force career was fabulous and I loved every moment of it. But at some point it was coming to an end, and my last duty station was in the Pentagon. And the year before I knew I would be getting out, I got my license just to sort of play with it. I was considering a handful of different career fields. And as I got my license and worked in it for the last year, sort of part-time, while I was finishing up my Air Force responsibilities, I really liked it. It was fun. It was creative. It was the last duty station that I had. The things that I was working on were things that wouldn't get realized for another 20 years. And so you never really had the satisfaction of reaching the finish line. And this was quite a bit different. And I actually was able to work for a lot of my friends then, because they were wanting to buy a house, also getting ready to retire and set roots in the area. So it just seemed like something I could be really successful at. And so in October of 2013, when I fully retired, I took the leap and went full time.
Well, and that was a very good decision. You were on the cover of Nova Real Producers, and to be on that, you have to be top 100 in the greater, Nova area out of 22,000 realtors. So I'd say that was a great move. Can you tell us, what's this journey been like? You were part-time while, in the service, and now you lead, people on your team, and you led a lot of people in the military too, right? Like, I would love to hear some quotes on leadership, or like how you feel about leadership, and tell me about this journey a little bit, like from yourself to a team.
Well, honestly, the first year or two was pretty nerve-wracking and stressful, because for the first time in my life, I didn't have a salary. I had no, yes, I did have my retirement, but my family was counting on me to do a little bit more than just a pension at that time in my life. And so I guess I didn't get my stride until a couple years in, where I started realizing, look, you got this, Meg. You can do this. And I started hiring people to help me, because I do feel like I can transfer skills pretty well. I enjoy the teaching, the counseling. That kind of comes back a lot when I'm working with my clients now. And I enjoy having a team. Like, working solo was sort of lonely and not what I was used to. So I really felt like a smaller team, not 50 agents, but a nice tight-knit group was my goal. And that's ultimately what I ended up developing over a few years.
Good for you. Do you have any books or quotes or things you want to share with our audience that resonate with you?
Maybe not books. I know when I was answering some of your questions, one of my strengths is numbers, because of my education, all being in the technical fields. And I would probably sit down and read a book of graphs before I'd read a storybook. I really like graphs.
Hey, numbers are important in real estate.
Yeah, I love them. When they come out for the month stats, I'm like, yes. But yeah, a couple of quotes maybe. I mean, I think first one is just a Bible verse I'm gonna get wrong, but the gist of it is like whoever among you has not sinned may cast the first stone. I think that I really was hard on myself and hard on other people early on. I grew up in a fairly strict household, happy with the household, but also it was there wasn't a lot of wiggle room here, and so the ability to extend grace to others, to appreciate that you might not know what they're really going through, to hope for some grace for me when I slip up, is really really central to the way I see things. And I see so much anger. Our area is busy, busy, busy. People are commuting long distances. They never have enough time. And the grind gets to their psyche, I think. And I just want to be the person that enters with some sense of calm and like, it's okay, like, or let's not treat people like that again, when I'm in a position to influence their behaviors. Um, and then the other thing was from a maybe 40-year term realtor. Her name is Peggy Burke. She's awesome. And I always said if I had the what would Peggy do WWPD bracelet, I would wear it, because whenever I'm really stumped, I call her. And very, very early on in my career, she's like, hey, I know you came from the military, but it's not offense defense. This isn't a fight. This isn't a war. Your listing or buyer's agent that you're working with and you are on the same team. You want the same things. You want to get to the table. You want to get your clients what they want and move on, collect your paycheck and move on. And that was enlightening to me, because I had come from I'm on this side. And she was like, no, you guys are working together. And since then, I
Amen.
have focused since day one after that conversation on creating really strong relationships with other realtors. And my peer uh, reviews and stuff are always very, very high, because I always want them to know that we're on the same side. And if I can help them get their client over the line, it's in everybody's best interest. Let's work together.
Oh, I love that. And that's, I mean, it's what Real Producers is all about. Like, let's connect, make a better sandbox, and, have fun while we do it. The Real
Yeah.
Producers, you all are getting it done.
Yeah.
Can you share an experience where, there was either like a setback or failure or something you bounced back from, like a challenge that others could learn from?
Hmm. Well, I guess two things. The one that comes to mind often, and it is during the military, and that was that as a group commander, I think I was a new group commander and my footing wasn't solid yet. And the squadron commanders that worked for me were all very good, capable leaders, and I wasn't letting them lead. I knew how to be a squadron commander. I had just been one. So all of the things that they deal with in the operations side of it were things that I was really comfortable with. And I was trying to do their job. And at one point, one of the squadron commanders just closed the door, and our voice levels went about 15 octaves higher. And I threw him out of my office and then immediately said, crap, he was right. I am not being a good commander, because I'm not giving them the leash to do what we hired them to do. And it's been a really, really good lesson for me. Obviously, I went and I apologized, changed my ways, and everybody benefited from it. So I think that is a story that helps me in my leadership with my team, because it it can be hard to let go of the things that you do very well and give them the leash to become good at it too. But I've built a team right now. It's very small, but they are capable, and I don't have any kind of a leash on them really. Just that we stay in touch, and and are there to help them, run interference or support them when they need it. The other thing is the transactions that I've been faced with quite a bit, probably post-COVID, are either couples separating or divorced that need to sell their home, and estate sales where the parents have passed and the children are coming together to try and sell a home. And those are actually, they can be extremely difficult and taxing, but they're my favorites because it gives me the opportunity to be the peacemaker, because kids aren't always on the same sheet of music of what to do with mom and dad's house. Clearly, people separating aren't always on the same sheet of music, and I really enjoy brokering that and making everybody feel heard and seen, and try to put things in a perspective that makes them understand that we're all on the same team. We're getting to the finish line together, and then they can move on.
I could see that about you. And when things are harder, you really can show up in a different way for people. Yeah, no, I love that. What would you like to be remembered for in your career in real estate? I know that, you know, you had your first career, you got your second career here. What do you think you'll want to be remembered for within real estate?
I mean, I hope that my team is here long after I'm gone. Truthfully, I want Honorable Service Realty Group to still be a functioning team that's brought forward by more people that espouse the same core values that we have today, which is stolen from the Air Force, admittedly, but service before self, integrity in all that we do, and excellence in our craft. To be, you know, at the highest level of performance. These are really big numbers that we're talking about, and we can't afford to not fully understand how to advise our clients. Clearly, you know, salespeople in general can get a reputation for not really having the best interests of the client, and obviously that's not us. And I would hope that there would never be anybody we serve that would say that. So yeah, that's what I would want to have a legacy that has a team, Honorable Service Realty Group, with those core values that's continuing on well after I'm a realtor.
I love that. Well, and so I know that you're going to continue to grow your team and grow your presence. We appreciate you here at Real Producers. I wanted to talk about your family because you lit up earlier. Can you tell us a little bit about your family, kids and all that? Yeah.
So I have a daughter, Savannah, who's a physician and has 3 beautiful boys, Leo, and then twins, Aiden and Ari, that live in Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
I have a middle daughter, Tierney, who is just finished her degree in speech and language pathology and working at Children's Hospital King's Daughters. I always want to say King's Dominion. It's King's Daughters in Virginia Beach. And then my son went the sales route like me. He has a tool franchise business in Denver, Colorado, and he just got engaged a couple months ago. We're excited for him.
Good.
And for those who might have read my other article that was in there, I had a son, Owen, who we lost in 2006 in a vehicle accident.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't say how you lost him in the article, so thank you for sharing, and I'm sorry that happened. Yeah. Well, I'm sure Myrtle Beach is a beautiful place to visit, and you were talking about going trick-or-treating, right? Like
kids are finally at that age, so it's kind of fun. They kind of get it. The oldest one, the 3-year-old, definitely gets it. But yeah, and honestly, I've relocated so many people from Virginia to Myrtle Beach. There was an article the other day that said it's the #1 place where the Metro DC Virginia area is relocating right now is Myrtle Beach. And I think I sent about 15 families down there. So I do hope to hire here and then spend less time doing the selling and buying and more of the leading from afar, and then head to South Carolina where I can maybe do this all over again, bring in Honorable Service Realty Group South and lean on my great contacts that I have there and do it again.
I have every faith that you could do whatever you set your mind to, Meg. So, um, thank you for sharing your story with Real Producers. Is there anything else you'd like to share with the community or at large?
No, I mean, I want to thank you. Thank you for giving us a platform to be able to share our stories. And every time that magazine comes through, my husband knows that he has to leave it on the island. So I see it right away, and I quickly look to see where I'm placing that month, because I'm a very competitive person and I want to see where I'm at. And I even have a vision board, and you are on it. But top left corner, Real Producers. And I want to be at a certain place 12 months out of the year. So we'll see. We're intending to do it in 2024.
Well, like I have every faith that you will. And, it's an honor to share stories like yours. And I wish you all the very, very best. And, thank you again for being on with us.
All right. Thanks so much for inviting me.
Yep. Have a good day, everybody.